Hey, we're going to take a look at this Goal Zero 1400. Now, you may be wondering, why are we going over such an older unit when there are new units? Well, that's what this video is all about, is what is the 1400 and how does it compare to the newest Goal Zero 1500X series? That's been their latest series. They've got a lot of new updates that they've done to the system, and we're just going to compare to see if this is something that you should still consider as an option for emergency backup power, or for your RV, or whatever it is, or if it's not even worth looking at. So make sure you stick around for this video on the Goal Zero 1400. So first of all, I'll say I've had the system for quite a while, and the biggest gripe that I have about it is that it doesn't hold a charge very well. Now, they tell everybody right up front that you need to make sure you charge this up every 3 months. Now, when you compare that to something like the Energy Apex, which is basically the competitor to this, the Energy Apex has been sitting on the shelf for the same amount of time, and it's still at 100%. Now, I'm not necessarily promoting Energy or Goal Zero. I actually don't like both of those brands. But in terms of a head-to-head comparison, the Energy has held its charge far better than the Goal Zero has. These have been sitting on the shelf for about 6 months, and they were just doing a battery drain test. This is at about 50% right now, and that's been one of the biggest issues that I've seen with the Goal Zero systems, is that they just don't hold a charge very long at all. You have to make sure you stay on top of the 3-month charge time, because even after a month, you'll see that this percentage is down from 100%, and you need to be watching it if you're going to use this as a backup power source. Now, this weighs rated in about 43 pounds. It's about 1,400 watt hours. It's 1,425 watt hours. It's got a 1,500 watt pure sine wave inverter. And this one, I did pay for the extra MPPT charge controller. It's called the Yeti MPPT. It's about a couple $100 to upgrade it. And I haven't found that it charges much faster than the built-in PWM charge controller. But I'm able to put in a total of 360 watts into this, but I've never seen more than about 250 watts go in. So take it for what it's worth. That's been one thing that's been consistent with me for Goal Zero, is I can never, ever get the actual rated input for the solar. Now, the reason I brought this Apex out here, or even better yet, I can bring my Kodiak out here, because the Kodiak and the Goal Zero 1400, these were really the head-to-head competitors a number of years ago. This has a 1,500 watt inverter, this has a 1,500 watt inverter, an 1,100 watt hour battery, 1,400 watt hour battery, 500 watt solar input, 360 watt solar input. So you can see why the Kodiak at the time was the system that I preferred, was because you could have better solar input even though it had a smaller battery. To me, it doesn't really matter how big the battery is if you can't recharge it quickly. And that was the biggest flaw that I found with the Goal Zero system, was that I could not recharge it very quickly. I was lucky to get it charged in a single day. And so because of that, it was something that I could never actually recommend. For the price, I think you should be getting a lot more than you do. Now, Goal Zero is a big brand. They're the ones that have paved the way for solar generators, and for that, I thank them. They do amazing work all over the world trying to help people get power, and they're a great company. Every single time I've called their customer service, I've gotten through to someone, and they've actually been intelligent and know what they're talking about, and very, very helpful. I don't find that with all companies. So the system's pretty heavy at 43 pounds. Like I mentioned, it's got a 1,500 watt pure sine wave inverter. It is rated to a 3,000 watt surge, and the 1500X has a 2,000 watt pure sine wave inverter that is rated up to a 3,500 watt surge. So that's definitely a nice upgrade. And you don't have to pay for the additional MPPT anymore in the 1500X that is now included and is rated up to 660 watts of solar input. So with Goal Zero's track record, that's actually going to be more like 400 watt solar input, but still, that's better than what this could do. So it means I can charge it in a single day, but it's going to be hard to get a full charge in a single day if I'm running stuff on it all day long, like a refrigerator and a freezer. This 1400 unit only has standard USB-A outlets, but the 1500X has a 60 watt USB-C output as well as an 18 watt USB-C output, and has the same regulated 12 volt area that the 1400 unit does here. And one thing I really do like about Goal Zero is they're upfront about the life cycles. You're only going to get about 500 life cycles out of this, as well as the new unit, but they're just saying, hey, use it hard, and you can expect 500 cycles out of it. So I do like that they're upfront about that. One of the other newest things about the 1500X is that up here in the top section, you'll have these connection areas where you can use their link system. Now, the link system is what's really cool. This allows you to connect to your alternator so you can charge it in your van or something like that if you really needed to. And the alternator chargers are very fast, and so that's one very unique feature to Goal Zero, is they've really focused in on doing alternator charging, which no one else really has. So that's very cool about the 1500X, as well as it does have the new built-in app. So you can monitor the battery, how much solar is going in, you can turn off different circuits and stuff, all from the wireless app, which is a great feature to have. Another neat feature that I did like about the Goal Zero is this is the wall charger. It's very, very simple. There's no big brick on here. Here I have the wall charger, and I already went ahead and plugged it in, and this is one of the biggest gripes that I have. This is charging at 56 watts. That is incredibly slow. Now, you could argue that it's such a slow charge rate because Goal Zero wants to conserve the battery life cycles. But 500 life cycles is as if you're using it as hard as you could. So if this were charging more than 1,000 watts, I would believe that, but it's not. It's charging at 56 watts. So it does charge super, super slow, which doesn't make it easy to use when you're going between different trips or something like that. Say you just got back from one trip, going to another location, need that battery power to be good to go, and it's just a really, really slow charger. So you're definitely going to be charging faster off of the solar than you can the wall. Now, in terms of the charge controller here, the MPPT, it's a 25 amp charge controller, and it can range from 14 to 22 volts. And that's really been the issue, is the charge parameter is really hard to stay within and actually get a large amount of solar to go into it. You pretty much have to be connecting your panels in parallel, which means you're going to be using a thicker cable in order to run them between the distance of where the panels are and the unit. So overall, the biggest issues have been slow wall charging and battery slowly discharging. The 1500 watt inverter was good many years ago, but now 2000 watts is kind of the minimum we look for. So the 1500X does fill that part. It can be charged in a single day. So if you need something that is going to run a refrigerator for an emergency, the Goal Zero 1500X will do it. Even the 1400 could do it, but it didn't do it very well. Definitely the systems that I would look at would be something like the Titan solar generator instead, that has a much larger inverter as well as battery and expandability and solar input. With 2000 watts of solar input, it's going to be close to 7 or 8 times what this can actually do. And I've been using the Titan solar generator to run my off-grid cabin for over 18 months. I would not recommend the Jackery 2000. I have another video on that. That would be very close comparison to the 1500X system from Goal Zero, and I was not impressed with the Jackery 2000, and I still don't think those are 100% available. I purchased mine on a short window that they had open, but for some reason these big names like Goal Zero, Jackery, and so on just really haven't surprised me very much, and they've really been much of a letdown. I'll put links down below for any other systems that I might recommend instead of this, or just maybe go for one of these. And of course, you can always find this information at poweredportablesolar.com. So I just wanted to give a quick video on this. I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at poweredportablesolar.com, or you can email me directly as well at info@poweredportablesolar.com. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, click the bell. If you found this helpful, make sure you go check out my other videos as well. Thank you again for tuning in. Be prepared. I'll see you all in the next video.